بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صبحكم الله بالخير. نستكمل معاكم في هذا الصباح الرحلة حول التحول الرقمي وإدارة التغيير المرتبطة بها في منتدى الحكومة الإلكترونية السادس. راح يكون عندنا العديد من المحاضرات المتميزة التي ستساهم إن شاء الله في توضيح الصورة أكثر للسادة الحضور والسيدات في رسم طريق التحول الرقمي في الحكومة الإلكترونية في دولة الكويت. معنا العديد من السادة المحاضرين المتميزين مختصين في هذا المجال. راح نتكلم في أكثر من موضوع. نعتقد أن في التنظيم وضعوا هذه النقاط حتى يتم استكمال الصورة الكاملة حول إدارة التغيير في التحول الرقمي. راح نبدأ بداية مع الأستاذ وجيه يحياوي. الأستاذ وجيه يحياوي سينيور تكنولوجيست، خبير في مدة 25 سنة في مجال التقني، في مجال البرمجة. اشتغل في بناء العديد من التطبيقات، ساهم في تطبيقات سكايبي وغيرها من الأعمال. راح يتكلم معنا عن الارتفيشال انتليجنس. طبعا احنا حاليا قاعدين ندخل في الدرايفرز او محركات لتقنية المعلومات قاعد تزداد وراء بعض. كنا بعدين قبل نتكلم عن الكلاود كومبيوتينج مع البيج داتا والموبيليتي والسوشيال ميديا. دخل معنا حاليا عصر الارتفيشال انتليجنس، الاي اي، دخل معنا الاي او تي، انترنت اوف ثينجز. وكل هذه الدرايفرز قاعد تجعل الكثير من التحديات امام العاملين في مجال تقنية المعلومات وفي استخدام هذه التقنيات حتى يتم تقديم افضل خدمات للمتعاملين مع الحكومة او نتكلم عن القطاع التجاري او الخاص. الاستاذ وجيه راح يتكلم عن موضوعات متعددة. راح يركز على موضوع الارتفيشال انتليجنس من شركة بلاكستون. راح يتكلم عن الروبوتكس، راح يتكلم الروبوت، راح يتكلم عن شات بوت، راح يتكلم عن اكثر من نقطة. فاترك المجال للاستاذ وجيه مشكورا ليتفضل بمحاضرته.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's early in the morning, and hopefully everybody has their coffee and they're up and about. So today I'm going to try to make it short to some extent, meaningful to you guys. When I was invited to speak today, I was thinking what type of topic that would be relevant to the attendees. And in this like century, when based on your positions and in the government, when you want to undertake a digital transformation, artificial intelligence becomes key. So everybody speaks about artificial intelligence. I spent most of my time the last couple of years meeting with key leaders in the government in the whole Gulf area, talking about artificial intelligence, explaining what it is, trying to come up with a compromise. But there is a key, a very essential part. Okay, there is artificial intelligence. Where do I start? And everybody asks the same questions. How does it apply to us? Where do I start? The sky is the limit. How do we plan for it? So today I thought something that will be, I can speak about different products or technologies, but I thought something that will be meaningful to you will be to have a guide how to think about artificial intelligence. How do I apply it? Or where do we start in our organization? So think of, and I really appreciate like a more interactive discussion. So if you have any questions, please feel free. Otherwise, the presentation won't last long. So let's start with the marketplace about artificial intelligence. I know that all of you guys, I mean, there is a big hype right now about artificial intelligence, and it's all over the news. UAE has assigned about almost a year ago a minister for artificial intelligence. There is a big, like it's big news in the area, but here are like the trends around the world right now. The adoption, I mean, artificial intelligence is something that started way before, like since the Big Blue, which is like a large computer developed by IBM in, I think in the 80s or the 90s. The first thing to keep in mind, AI adoption is increasing across the different industries. It's not just government, it's not only consumers, but it's also for enterprises or businesses. Second item to keep in mind, most of the AI usage at this stage is consumer facing. What does it mean? For governments, that means is citizens. Most of the AI adoptions or applications that exist right now are around customer facing, which makes it critical for governments to adopt, because at the end of the day, one of the major goals of governments is to service citizens, right? Third one is, despite having like transformative benefit, like there is a huge impact. Like AI, the fact that AI is here and it's expanded, it's changing the way we work, or the way the businesses or like the jobs should be. Even if it's in the process of being adopted, like the way the jobs should be or should be defined is transforming. And the last one is right now in the AI market or the AI technology providers is very fragmented. There is a huge hype of small or like nebular type of companies that provide multiple products around AI. The big players, IBM, Microsoft, and so on, are doing investments, but not as fast as the smaller companies, and they are doing a lot of acquisitions. Like now in the US, we're seeing a big trend of acquisitions across the smaller companies because they are more agile and more quicker to adopt some of these technologies. So, a fact, AI spending is rapidly increasing, whether you know it or not. So, just to give you a small context, and we're going to get back to this in about 2 slides. Currently, where we stand is, I mean, there is about $4 billion on spending on AI in the market, like across the US and Europe and stuff. Now, someone might wonder, well, AI is something new. How can we have spent so much so quick? Well, AI is not so much new. See, when we talk about, and if I ask everybody here, everybody has a smartphone, either Android or iOS. They have a voice-enabled platform, which is Siri or like Google Now. That's AI. That voice-enabled platform is AI. So as you can see, it has been in the market for quite some time, and the spending has been increasing from that perspective. Now, again, the consumer applications are leading the way, because the quickest way to adopt the technology is to send it to the masses, to the users. And this is the fact that we're seeing. Like, I remember in the 90s, the cell phones were a big block that had just the dial-up functionality, just to be able to call. Around 2000, we started having smartphones where you can do multiple things. Then after that, that was not good enough. We had like applications that you can, like voice-enabled applications that can facilitate or help your, like your day-to-day life, or even give you like recommendations and so on. These type of applications, this is what we call, these are the AI consumer applications that we are talking about, and that has been increasing tremendously. And the main logic of it is, if it's not beneficial to the end user or the consumer, then it's not going to see adoption. The fact that it has been spread out drastically means that this is a technology that is here to stay, or this is how the end users or the expectations of the consumers or the citizens is being set. Like right now in the US, I don't know if you've seen the Amazon Echo, like a device at home that you talk to and that actually shops for you, reminds you whenever you have milk running out of your fridge and so on. These devices are becoming very common. You go to the Midwest in the US, which is like basically blue-collar workers, and in most of the homes you are going to find such a device being used. So this is becoming the norm. So what is AI? So why I wanted to put this slide here is because there is a big misconception of what AI is. In some of my discussions with some customers or entities, they say, all right, we want to deploy AI, we want to buy an AI product. In some other instances, the concept of an AI is something new. They don't consider, for instance, voice authentication or voice recognition or video recognition or some facial recognition as an AI product, even though that is. So what is AI? AI is the ability to sense, comprehend, and act. So let's focus a little bit on sense. Sense is basically the ability to understand what's going on, understand the environment. So if I put a camera here, something that we as human beings, we take for granted. This is a bottle. This is a cup. For a smart system, this is the first to be able to act on it or assimilate that or do something with that information, you need to be able to identify the data. Okay? And this is, so the first part is sensing, which is collecting the relevant data without asking people or human beings to provide processed data. The second aspect is to comprehend, to understand what is the meaning of that data, how does it relate to the process or the task at hand. And the last one, some systems provide you like ability to act. What should I do with this data? Now that I know that there is this information and I understand what it is, what should I do with it? What is the recommendation should I give to the manager? This is, so I did spend some time to collect some information about how different entities, major entities, define AI. So Gartner defined AI is about any solution that solves business problems in a new way. This is a very broad term, right? IDC defines it as basically cognitive and artificial intelligence. Forrester defined it as a liberatory, and this is one of my favorite, technology. Liberatory in the sense where if it is able to free a human being from doing a redundant task, okay? And the IBM, artificial intelligence, is like a transformative type of technology. Why I did list this? Just to explain to you, it is very complex to define what AI is. As you can see here, if you read through 4 major and global entities around the world, they define it slightly differently. And when you read the words, it's very broad. I mean, each one of us will have a different understanding of what these words mean. But at the end of the day, let's keep it simple. AI is the ability of the machine to think for itself and be able to provide assistance or do a job that a normal person can do or a human being can do, if you want to present it in a layman's term. I just added this slide because actually it has some interesting information about the Middle East. When you see the trends, and this is from, I believe from, IDC. The expectation is that in the MEA region, which is the Middle East, the spending for AI is going to grow for the next 3 to 4 years and almost triple. And honestly, I spent a lot of my time in the region the last few months, and I can see that every single entity or government entity I talk to, they want to talk about AI and how can AI help them do their work, or how can AI help the citizens perform their, be more satisfied. So the fact, I mean, one of the reasons why I was so excited to come and present here is because I know this is a relevant market, and I know this is one of the leading markets in terms of adoption of AI. Now, there was a study done from IBM about, okay, when people, and just to show you the mentality, when entities want to adopt AI, where do they start? Do they go to business processes, IT, or so on? And as you can see here in terms of patterns, most of the people, whenever they think about AI, they want to plan and start at the IT level. Then they go data analytics. And for the risk takers, or like only a few of them, they might move to the finance part or so on. Why I highlighted this? Just to see, to highlight one thing. People understand or want to understand AI. They think that AI can be helpful, but they are skeptical. They don't know how it will help. And here is something that will be relevant to you. This comes down also to the fact people don't even know how to quantify it. I spent some, we in Blackstone, we spend a lot of time with some of the customers or government entities, and whenever we define an AI project, they want to say, okay, how do we quantify it? How much does it cost? And they have nothing to refer to, so basically what the customer or the government does, they will relate to standard applications that they are used to, which is basically mobile applications or portals and so on. And this is not the right thing, because those are standard or classical type of applications versus the other one, which is like cutting edge. But this is just to highlight that there is a confusion, or there is some type of misunderstanding or not knowing how to adopt AI in that sense. Those are why now? Why does it matter now? Honestly, AI is relevant yesterday, not today. But since yesterday, if it's not done, it has not been done yesterday, then today, here is why. Because the industry is shifting. The new workforce, when I see when you go to your job tomorrow or to your ministry and you look around, most of the people that have jobs, or most of the people that have like functions, the age average is around between the 20s and 30s. So the workforce is changing. I'll just tell you a side note. Like my kid, I have an 8-year-old boy. Right now, he knows how to do like tablets or phones. I mean, since he was 5 years, which at his age I did not know. We did not have cell phones or tablets. So the mentality of the workforce is changing. So the expectation is higher. They cannot do the work, like their job, day-to-day job, in the traditional way, which is paperwork, you know, printing, and so on. I mean, if someone here is old enough as me, maybe they will remember VHS. The new generation don't even know what a VHS is. Or some of them don't even have never seen the CD or like a DVD per se. So my point is, AI is relevant for two things. First of all, the workforce is changing. So if you give someone, like if you want your workforce to be relevant, you gotta give them the right tools or enable them to be efficient. So you gotta be relevant to the workforce that you have. That's one. Second thing, AI will transform, like it's here, like the demand of the citizens are changing. I'm just gonna, in my flight here to Kuwait, I was in an airplane and there was an incident where the gentleman sitting behind me had higher expectations from the flight attendant, in the sense where, okay, I was coming here, I wanted, I believe he wanted like a beef sandwich, not tuna, right? So my point is, but the thing is, in his mind, the flight attendant should have known, okay? But maybe he's a regular traveler, but in his mind, this is obvious that he should have known and prepared for that. So the expectations of people are increasing. They are not the same like 10 years or 15 years ago. But right now, when you go somewhere or want to go to a government entity, you expect your job or your thing to be done immediately. I remember like about 20 years ago when I was doing my passport, renewing my passport. I think it took 5-6 days. But right now, it's within hours. Why? Because people's expectations are changing. So they expect higher efficiency, quicker time, and like a more, like higher rate of satisfaction, and that the people that provide the service to understand what they want. Oh, what? So this is just to explain to you. Before, We had to learn to use technology. Now, technology has to learn from us how we live. So you see the paradigm shift. Before, technology, we had to learn how to use computers or cell phones, and this is my generation. Now, the technology has to adopt and learn from how we do business. And this is where AI come into, AI is a concept, and this is the AI concept, is how to make the technology learn from us. Okay? Learn on how to adapt to our day-to-day job. So I'm going to skip this one. 3 key success metrics if you want to adopt AI. You gotta focus on experiences, processes, products, and services, which means before you think about a product, okay, I want to deploy, for instance, or I want to use a facial recognition system, or I want to use predictive analytics. Forget about that. The first step is to think, okay, what is the experience I want to provide my consumers, and why? Why does it matter? How will it help them in their life? How will it increase their satisfaction? Once that's done, then the product or the right solution will come into play, because if you fail to understand or to think what is the experience you are trying to achieve and why, no matter what technology you deploy, I don't think you are going to be able to be successful in achieving your goals, because you don't know what, you are just deploying the technology for the sake of deploying the technology. Right? Here are some of the high level. I wanted just to provide, based on the research on, like from IBM, like some of the major blockers for adoption AI. So security, which is classical, immature products, cost, or data issues, because data issues, honestly, I think that's one of the most relevant item in the region. The machines can be smart, but it is as smart as the data or the training you provided. So your data sources, if you have data that is not good, that means that's faulty, that's not structured, that's not clean, then the outcome, whatever you want to do, is not going to be good, which is normal. If you have an employee, you don't train him well, he's not going to perform. So I want to skip to building an AI strategy. So if you want to build, so the first, before you adopt, you need to build a strategy. Before you adopt any type of AI technology, you need to build a strategy. To build an AI strategy, you need to establish an AI vision for your organization. What does it mean? I need to ask myself the following questions. How would AI, or what is the optimal experience I want to provide the consumer? And here, you can dream big. Like, for instance, if I am a government entity, I would want to say, I don't want citizens to come to my office. I want them, if they want a document, they click on a button, it gets issued. That's a good vision, right? But this is a vision. This is, I want, you gotta, depending on the type of business or like institution that you have, you need to establish a vision or goals. Once you have those goals, you need to build a core team. The core team that will define a bit like an AI strategy cannot be made just from the IT team, because IT generally are very focused on implementation. They are not going to think about the business aspect to it. So it has to be a combination between business users, even some of your consumers, and IT to keep them in check. So it has to be like a combination of all the aspects of the business. The third part is assessing the organization. Basically, you need to know what you have, and you need to start with the business processes, not the technical one. When I mean understanding what you have is not knowing how many servers you have in your data center, but it's actually understanding which process. What are the services we provide? What is the current process? Like someone upload a document or comes and deposit a document, then he goes here, then that goes there. Understanding the business processes. And the last one, the next one will be to establish a to-be state, which is what is the goal and the time frame, by when, where do I want to go, and by when. And this way, you're going to have an AI roadmap. The key for enablers or essential ingredients for a successful strategy, AI strategy, is you need to have a global roadmap. You need to start with vision. There are three things. You need to focus on people. So for instance, you can buy or you can acquire or implement the most performant AI system or solution or any technology. If there is not a shift of how the employees do their work and adopt it, it's not going to be used. It's not going to be relevant. So the second key pillar is shifting the way or the mentality of the workforce that you have so that they adopt the technology. Okay? And the last one is you need, of course, to have the IT infrastructure that supports it. Because at the end of the day, IT infrastructure will provide the performance. Think of it as the fuel or the engine that runs the system. Now, overall, we've done this before in the US, or it's quite highly applied, in all institutions that want to adopt AI. At the early stage, what you want to do, you want to calculate how ready you are. The AI enablement or readiness factor, what we call AI readiness factor. That means, and this is basically based on all what we discussed, you do a global assessment. Like for instance, my employees, they don't have a good core competencies, or they are like in the middle field. In terms of processes, I don't have all my processes documented. My data is not fully structured and so on. And at that moment, you come up with the readiness factor, and you are able from there to get to your goal. So today, through the presentation, I wanted just to discuss what AI, how can we adopt AI, how can it be relevant to you guys. Hopefully, this was useful to you to some extent. Please, if you have any questions. That's it for my presentation. If you have any questions.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. You said in the second slide that the AI right now is dominated by the startups. And my question is, why the applications that are powered by AI that are reshaping the workplace right now, owned by the startups? This is my question. My second question is, in the market right now, what is the AI, let's say, products or whatever about the AI that's in the market right now? I'm sure that a lot of startups and small businesses that are using the chatbots widely. So what are other things that have been using right now?
Sure. So to answer your first question, so the question to repeat it to everybody, all right? The market is fragmented. There is a lot of small companies, and the market is dominated by small or nibbler type of companies that have AI products. And why is that? Why do they own these type of products? Well, here is the thing. When you see a maturity level of any product, it goes through a hype and goes down then to a maturity level. See, it's very quick, it's very agile for smaller companies to adopt quickly. Think of it as ships. When I think about Microsoft, when I think about IBM, Cisco, those are large ships. To make something happen, it's going to take few weeks, few months, and so on. So for them to steer and to adjust their the strategy takes some time. Whereas a small company, let's say 3 guys or 4 guys, within 1 hour, they can make a decision. So the nature of the market, of the trend, is at the beginning of the hype, you have a very fragmented market. But the tendency, when it reaches the maturity level, and this is what we're seeing. Actually, the big fish are making a lot of acquisitions. Amazon, IBM, Microsoft are making tons of acquisitions of smaller companies. Then it's going to be very stable to some extent as a landmark. Okay? Right now, in the maturity curve of the product, we are going up the hill. We are not bypassing the hill yet. I'm sure you've seen the Gartner maturity level of products. So in terms of AI, we are still going up. And that based on the IDC latest report, by 2020, we will get to a level to the top of the peak, then it's going to start stabilizing. Now, the second one, why are people using chatbots? Chatbots are the easiest way and the quickest way to get an ROI. When you think about AI, which is the ability of a system to think, the first one to make it meaningful to everybody around here and around the world, actually, you have a call center, you have customer service, or consumer service, or whatever, citizen service. Right now, you are spending X, and you are not doing it well. If I give you a system that gives you the same level of service, quicker, better, and save you cost, will you do it? Yes. See, it becomes a non-brainer. So this is the quickest way to get a quick win, because, I know, so, see, people are impatient, like the business users are impatient. They don't want to wait 2 years or 3 years for an AI strategy to land before they see an ROI. They want to see results quickly. So in the AI roadmap, you gotta give quick wins to show that you are in the right path. Chatbot is that. Chatbot is one of the ways where you can do it quicker, efficiently, and show an ROI in terms of cost efficiency. Second one, so you said what other things that are being adopted? Well, it depends. The other most efficient way, based on my experience, and people might differ, which is BI or analytics. And here is why. Most of the business users, every single customer I met, they have tons of data. Data is gold. How do I use it? And right now, it's being way underutilized. Now, I understand that a lot of this data has issues in the sense where it's not clean, it's not uniform, and so on. And there is a process to work around that. But at the main time, the business users, they wanna be able to utilize efficiently the data. So the other most used or most efficient or impactful product in terms of AI will be smart analytics or AI infused analytics, okay? Which includes predictive analytics and so on. But just so that you are aware, when we talk about predictive analytics, this is a term that has been used for the last 20 years. There is a difference. There is predictive analytics, which is linear, which is you get 3 points, you draw a line, and I'll tell you. This is not the AI-infused analytics, and the reason why, it does not give you a margin of error, okay? In AI, we need to study the data and identify trends. Maybe it's not a line, it's a curve. So any AI analytics product that does not give you a margin of error, like by 2030, the solution will be X, but it's 40% error margin, then it's not an AI product, okay?
2 minutes left. Mr. Wajih.
Okay.
2 minutes left.
All right. Any other question? Okay, well, I'll be here around for the next few hours if you guys have any more questions. Thank you so much.
شكرا جزيلا دكتور وجيه.